Okay, guys, sorry that got interrupted. Um, Let me get on to the second one. This guy is going to be based on a circle. And let's see. So here's going to be the line from the pit of the neck down to the pelvic girdle. And I'm working in a way that's really sketchy. And but I'm working with a light color and I'm looking for a way to establish a basic line of action, right? I want this character to be I want to get some real feeling into this character and I'm looking for what is the gesture saying? Like what's going on here? What's the story? And okay, so seems like a lot of work, right? To just get a little stick figure. But what's going on is there's a lot of storytelling going on in my head. I'm like, what does this character end up having to do with this character? And okay. And so once I finally get myself a line of action built, right? The next thing that I want to do is I want to start to create volume. And there is a kind of an interim, right? What look at what I can do. I'm just going to add I'm going to like say like this is going to be the outline of this character's body, right? The beginning of an outline of this character's body. Okay? And I'm looking to this character is going to be a bigger, rounder, more based on more round forms. Okay, here's back to starting to establish volumes. Here's a volume for the chest, and I'm looking to, it's the cross contour, it's the ellipse I could draw through this shape. Okay, here's the center line for the chest. Okay, here's the center line passing down over the volume of this midsection. And now here's the volume for the pelvis. What angle is the pelvis at? What's going on with this pelvis? Okay, notice how I've used a block. And then I'm going to put the center line in. Okay. Okay, so see how I went from a line of action to a 2D shape to starting to be dealing with a 3D shape, okay? And so I want to take this head. I have an idea for this one. I want to turn the head upwards. I want this person to be looking up. And so here, watch. So here's the line of action. All right? And there the circle helps me establish the proportion of the volume and the transverse line, you see that transverse line takes the head and it turns it upwards, makes it so that, okay, here's the coronal line, the center line. Okay, so you see how his face starts to turn upwards. Here's the volume of the neck, squash and stretch, reaching around the volume of the neck, little circular form reaching around the volume of the neck. The way that the legs have a volume that is a big, it's like this, again, it's that chicken bone shape right there. And it connects on the front and then like this. You see that connection of the leg? And it comes down and into a more squared off section by the knees. Uh, Here's the knee. And then how do we connect to the lower section? The knee overlaps the lower section, and the side of the calf comes up and grabs this volume on the side plane. So again, here's the center, which means that I probably have to move this leg over. It looks like I kind of missed where that leg should go by a little bit. And so I'm going to move it over a little bit. So here's the center. So this leg needs to grab hold a little distance from the center. The top of the leg is below the top of the pelvis. The pelvis has that Pringle shape. Remember that Pringle shape? Okay. And gluteus maximus there. There's two muscles here, the tensor fasciae lata and the sartorius, and they come around and they form this little thing that goes around the legs, goes around the top of the leg, and then right in the middle, up in through here, is a gluteus medius. Okay, under the ribs. Bam, center line, in through the ribs. Here's the other leg, over there, into a square, into off, into the calf. Okay, notice how the knee, I'm squaring the knee. You see how I'm, like when we draw structures, and I'm squaring the knee, and I'm using a big rounded shape to get my calf started, and that's going to go down into a square shape itself. And then when I get to the bottom, down by the foot, you see this little horseshoe shape? That's the way that the calf connects itself to the foot. So I'm going to drop down, and I've connected here. I'm going to drop down, and I've connected here. Okay, shoulders. I haven't drawn in the shoulders yet. The first thing that I want to do is I'm just going to add a little bit, like I'm putting a little bit of material on, like I'm throwing a little bit of clay onto the shoulders here to just like get them to have some shape, okay? And then I'm going to go from there into the arm. Here's an arm. Look at these guys are almost like gladiators. That's kind of what I'm starting to think here. So they're like guys who are about to, they're going to have some kind of like terrible fight to the death or something like that. The big mass of the neck, okay, down into the shoulders. The pectoralis in here, up. The line of the clavicle over, up and over, up and over, up and over. There's a great volume. Oop, that one is a little too great. Here's the great volume of the shoulder, the deltoid muscle, and emerging from between the pectoralis. Here's the shape of the upper arm, which the deltoid inserts into the middle. And then the top of the arm, this bites here, squares off. This is round in there and it squares off as we get to the end. And this time I'm going to turn, well, this one needs to have, the thumb has to come up in this one. But let's say that I want to have the thumb go down in this one. So if I take, to get the thumb to go down, here's the top of the arm, there's the bottom of the arm, and the triangle for the top of the hand, and here's the, see the overlap there, and how that makes the thumb go down? Look at the connection of the upper arm. So here we're dealing with these really, really different body types. And again, the line of shading. Okay, here's the line of shading down around the rib cage. And here's the line, it comes over the rib and down around all, but see how it's basically sticking to one side? And here a line of shading and cutting this shape down the middle. Basically side lighting. Okay, and I'm establishing this thing now really firmly as a graphic volume. Okay. And then let's go back and darken some parts in. So here, if you want to use the black, you can use the black in a couple of different ways. You can really darken in. And look at, you see in there would be no light possible to get inside of that one little spot. And another thing that you can do is, you see this line, and now I'm showing overlap. You see how I just showed overlap? And I'm going to show overlap. You see how this one underlaps here? And look at, it's going to overlap there. And then it comes down here, and the back of the thigh overlaps. This goes up and over and down. Okay, I'm going to overlap the rib cage. There, I just overlapped. Here's an overlap. Overlap. Here's my third contour, detailing it out. Overlap. There's a little area where maybe no light gets to. Okay. I could think maybe no light is going to get right there. Maybe that'll be a little dark area. I could think maybe no light will get right there. Okay, and those give me like little shadow accents. I could think maybe no light will get right there. Okay. Nice decisions. Okay. And there we go. Here these two guys are And they're about to fight each other in a gladiator ring, okay?